Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a very special video here on my channel. Now you guys can see some gameplay with my girl on screen right here, Smolder Dash. This video is basically here to prove to you why she is the second greatest Skylander ever created, because we're going to be going through every single Swap Force arena on hard difficulty of all things, and every single time I get hit the video speeds up by 2%. Now getting hit means that I can be hit by an enemy and take damage, or a hazard and take damage. Either way, both of those factors need to take place simultaneously for the video to be sped up. So in other words, the counter has to go down and my health bar needs to take damage. However, for things like consistent damage, such as for curses from certain arenas, they aren't going to count, because, you know, that way the timer or the speed of the video even would go up far too fast, and they don't affect the little counter at the top left whatsoever. So therefore that's why the curses do not count as being hit constantly. But yeah, with all that being said and done, this is actually a very special video, not only because I'm showcasing Smolder Dash's awesome skill, but also because it's in celebration of 400 subs, despite the fact that I have grown significantly since I first hit it back in October, which just means there is going to be a giveaway coming out very soon around Halloween time to celebrate 400 subscribers. And how quickly I hit it much sooner than I was expecting, so thank you guys so much for your unrivaled support. It has been incredible, and it's felt just so humbling that you guys felt it worth to subscribe to me. That's an honour beyond words, I would go as far to say. But regardless, you guys can tell that I'm post-commentating this right now, because let's just say that if we had the in-game audio later in the game, it would sound a lot like this. Anyway, it's time for me to actually start post-commentating stuff that's going on right now, because Smolder Dash is just absolutely ripping it up, and we don't even have a single hit so far. So the counters in the top right are basically counting how often I'm hit and what speed we are currently at for the video. So they're great for keeping track and all, and it can also showcase my awesome crackerjack skill at this game, you could go as far to say. So right now I'm just hit my cutlery on the side of my desk right now, but as we move on, I did just get hit for the first time in the video, but still I'm just chaining attacks together quite well. The useful thing about my Let Core Smolder Dash right here is that her sons, when she whips them, basically they knock back enemies, so that can be used to create knockback cycles, so enemies don't have a chance to attack you because they have no cooldown whatsoever. Ironic that Skylander, who's all about heat because she's off a fire element, doesn't have any cooldown. But enough of the terrible puns. We have more solar suns being launched with the chompies, and then whilst they rip them apart, we're going to be whiplashing these screwballs. Now we're going to be charging up our sunblast right now, sending that off in all directions, which once again knocks enemies back even, and whilst you're in the air you can't even be attacked. So that's just what makes Smolder Dash so fluent, so fast paced, and above all so powerful and effective, because she hits enemies really easily without them hitting her, which is, you know, the aim of the game, as it would be any action game. So yeah, these Swap Force arenas, this took me an awful long time to record. That was really fun, because Swap Force arenas are really fun even on hard difficulty, and Smolder Dash just made it all the more so for me. But anyways, you can tell that this first commentary is not scripted. We have ourselves another solar charge type thing, which whilst in eclipse mode, it, you know, brings down a black sun which pulls in enemies as well as stuns them, and it also launches off more suns and is more powerful and all. So basically, if Smolder Dash wasn't overpowered already, her eclipse mode makes her even better. But enough of reviewing this character, because that's not what this video is about. This video is about showcasing my epic editing skills, and the fact that this took very long to record and even longer to edit, because to edit this I had to review all 2 hours of my footage at the time, and then I had to make little razor cuts wherever I saw you know, myself getting hit by a hazard or an enemy. And from there I then had to adjust the speed of every single clip I had cut. So naturally it took me a very long time, so I hope you guys appreciate the chaos that's happening on screen, and let me know in the Premiere tab to the right of this video whether you're enjoying this or not. I just want to thank you guys again for 400 subs, because it truly is such a humbling feeling. But anyway, this projectile enemy over here, I said this twice just to emphasize the fact that he is infuriating me, you know, standing back, camping me out. Now we're going to charge straight into him. Now these spinning enemies we have to be very cautious of, and I wasn't cautious of them there, which caused a hit, purely due to the fact that whilst they're spinning they are invincible, so pulling them in with our powered up solar flares from Eclipse mode would not be a good idea, because then they're still invincible and they're right next to you from being pulled in by your Eclipse. So yeah, so lots of things to be cautious of here. You know, we also have the spikes and the curses not affecting any of our counters, though we do need to be careful of it for the damage we're taking, because losing one of these things would be catastrophic. Though, spoiler alert, I don't actually lose any of your readers here because Small Dash is too much of a badass to do so. Anyway, we got a power up in the middle there, we got spikes to, you know, really improve that timer, so to say, but we managed to defeat the food thief in the end. That's what you get for stealing food, my friend. Or I could really give you some food right now. You're definitely going to be getting lunch after this. Anyways, we now have more Greebles to deal with, which luckily we have our insane knockback for and our really fast whipping attack, so we come over here to whip more Greebles and barely miss the spikes. They must have literally scraped our toenails. Luckily this isn't Mario Maker 2 hitboxes where, you know, an enemy can be 5 boxes away and still kill you. Anyway, we smolder dashed right into that enemy's spin right there, and it's funny how I use the term smolder dash because that's the name of this character, but it's also the name of her soul gem ability. Anyway, we're getting hit several times by sucking in all of those spinning enemies around us, so whilst they're invincible they cannot actually be defeated, but they can hit us just fine. So yes, all the things that I told myself to be cautious of in the post commentary right here, clearly whilst I was recording this live I was not cautious of said things. Anyway, we're going to be taking out that projectile guy hiding in the bottom right there, but you know, you can never escape Small Dash's wrath. As cringy as at home that was, I used it all the same. Anyway, time to be launching ourselves up once again and sending off suns in all and every direction. And again, all and every, they're practically the same thing. But as I digress, the phrase that I have seemed to need to use every single video, we have a food thief that was defeated rather quickly. Even in live that was very fast, but speeding up of the video made it even more so. And come on, Spikes, that was so cheap, man. Like, we were just in the stage number, and of course adjusted the number of spikes that popped out, and so whilst that adjustment was happening, the spikes just felt like they deal damage to me whilst I had no time to react to them manoeuvring. Just also very rude. I don't know why it took me that long to explain the rudeness of the situation, but still it's rude all of the same. Okay, as you can tell, Smolder Dash actually has a homing ability on it, so it actually homes in on nearby enemies. So sometimes I can be pressing in one direction and then her homing attack will go in a completely opposite direction towards a nearby enemy, and that means she can actually teleport. So that kind of adds to her pacing, to be honest, though it can be quite infuriating when I'm being to dash one direction and wind up dashing in the complete opposite one. It can throw me off. That is practically a nitpick, and one of the only things that I can nitpick about this perfection of a character right here. Like, seriously, if anyone has any doubts about how good Smolder Dash is, just direct them to this video. Alongside my stuttering, you will notice how awesome she is. That there's two main things in this video. A is me stuttering and not being scripted, and B is Smolder Dash's awesomeness. And speaking of awesomeness, we have completed the arena once again. So now we have more chompies to defeat, and the major thing about this video is that it's more than just fighting in arenas and speeding up. At the very end I'm going to be updating you on what's going on with the channel, but for now I want to focus on commentary of the arenas because it's quite insane. We have ourselves some more Eclipse launching right here to finish off all of these enemies right here. Oh, and now we got ourselves the evilized bat from the Rampart Ruins as a power-up. Interesting power-up that, you know, it's evilized and yet it's fighting for us. You know, you'd think we'd just get the regular enemy to help us out, but nope, it's evilized for some reason. Anyway, we have more enemies in front of us, so let's be taking those guys down. It does help when, you know, we can suck enemies in, but what doesn't help is when we suck them in whilst they're still in their invincibility cycles. Past Ignite, listen to future Ignite's advice. Not that you can, I just felt like that would be funny, haha, commentary to, well, commentate upon. Anyway, we have Chompy Pods that spawned in once again, so it's time for us to wipe them out with, of course, some more chain of attacks. We have our suns, our whips, and of course our launching ability. I don't know the proper name for that, I probably should have researched, but then again, research requires effort, and I think the edit was effort enough. LOL. Sorry, Ultra number 1, if you just happen to be watching this video. I'm pretty sure you are the one who is very much against the LOL notion. We should make this a movement, an LOL movement, in spite of Ultra number 1. Anyway, shout outs aside, let's be finishing off that spinny dude right now. One other thing I can't wait for is Judas's really long comment on this video. You know, he's going to leave me an entire essay and I'm going to really love reading through that, because truly when it comes to YouTube, this is definitely a hobby. You know, I don't earn anything from this, and so, you know, I find passion and enjoyment in this, and that's most important of all. You know, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it to the capacity I do, and my main enjoyment comes from interacting with you guys, from reading your comments. They're just so heartfelt. They really warm my heart up and give me something to look forward to every single day. When I wake up and start reading your comments, it just puts a massive smile on my face, and I beyond appreciate it. It's just, it's feeling, it's beyond expression. I have such great gratitude for every single one of you. I truly have the greatest 400 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, humble much. Anyway, let's continue on with the awesome gameplay, because not only am I awesome at this game, but I'm also awesome at being humble at it too. Once again, another phrase that I have seemed to need to use every single video, and I think the phrase I use the most in every single video is the phrase I have seemed to need to use, so maybe, you know, I should put that on a t-shirt. Anyway, enough of laughing at my own terrible jokes. That's when you know it's terrible, when you yourself are laughing at it. We have hordes and hordes of chompies to deal with. You know, if this was a zombie apocalypse and a single chompy bunch would turn you, Smolder Dash would be screwed. Oh wait, no, she wouldn't, she's too fast. Boom, we bring down the suns, and then once again, even though the speed is just very hard to make it out, but we have completed this arena, so it's on to the next 12 minutes in, and we're almost done with the jungle themed ones already, and things only get speedier and more fast paced from here. And sorry if you guys heard the notification on my laptop right here. Will you shut up, laptop? I'm trying to record a video here, how very rude. Though fortunately it's not overheating as of just yet, so we don't have any fans to worry about. Okay, so let's be finishing off those guys. Nobody hits my fruit. Once again, this is just making me hungry. Everything about these arenas is making me freaking hungry. Why they gotta do this, man? Just why? This is what we call so uncool. A little bit of a rhyme right now. I could go as far as to say that my poet didn't even know it, but I'm not going to go as far as to say that, because that would be a lie. I'm not really much of a poet, and I know it. Anyway, let's be hitting off these chompies right here. They can say night night, thanks to the might of my whip right there. I don't know why I repeated might right there. It sounded cool in my head, so I went with it. Sometimes in life you just got to go for it, you know. That's my key advice for the video. Don't be afraid, don't hold back with being yourself. Just make content that you want to make. When it comes to YouTube and in life, be the person you want to be, and don't let anyone scold you for that, because truth be told, anyone who bullies you for your abilities and for you being yourself are just jealous that you can open up and be so personal and charismatic. So yeah, haters gonna hate. No matter where you are, you know, you can be at work, you can be at school, you're always going to find bullies no matter what environment you're in, so it's best that you just let bullies have a sad, stupid life where they're off, you know, trying to harm others rather than find pride and happiness in their own ability. And it's just for one true main happiness you can find in life, happiness in oneself, you know, and bullies clearly don't have that because they're too busy hating on others to love themselves, as cringy as that message is that I'm sending. Anyway, there goes that agreeable. That was one fast chain of whips right there. Once again, for speed up in the edit, definitely emphasized that right there. You know, it's definitely this entire video, you could say, has an entire theme of speed, because Small Dash herself is very, very fast thanks to a small dash based ability. In fact, many Skylanders of the fire element are pretty speedy. You have Flameslinger, who is the king of speed, Small Dash, who is the queen of speed, quite clearly. Frino has a charging ability that makes him pretty quick, as does Blast Zone. Then Hothead is one of the faster giants with his motorcycle, even if it does lack agility, because once you bring out the motorcycle, you can only really go straight with it. You know, any other direction is basically a death wish. But moving on from there, you know, Hot Dog's fairly quick. As his Sunburn, you know, he has his Phoenix Dash, even though the cooldown for said Phoenix Dash leaves you so vulnerable and so slow that it kind of like evens out with the speed you gain from said dash. But you know, then from Trap Team you have Trailblazer, who's pretty quick. Wildfire has that charge ability, which doesn't have as much of a cooldown or vulnerability cycle as Sunburn, despite the fact that it's so much more overpowered, which is why Wildfire is so insane. Anyways, moving on from there, we have Chompies eaten by bananas. How rude of them. That's just uncalled for, Chompies. I simply put, cannot believe they've done this. I went completely off topic right there. But moving on to Superchargers, the fire element is literally the speed demons in that game, because both of the fire vehicles have a speeding up ability. And then Spitfire and Lava Lancer rotating up themselves are very fast characters. And then moving on to Imaginators, we have Flarewolf. So, you know, a grand majority for Firecast are speed based, and so this video is here to emphasize that with its theme of speed. Anyway, we have more suns being reflected in all directions right here. I feel sorry for these enemies, you know, they are being absolutely annihilated right now. But then again, almost feeling sorry for these enemies doesn't count now, does it? Regardless, we've had another wave of fruit destroyed, so the enemies deserve everything that's coming to them, because destroying fruit, oh, that's just a big no-no. That's where I draw the line. You guys can try to conquer Skylanders all you want, but destroying fruit, oh no, that we do not stand for. So let's be defeating these chompies right here. They ain't going to be chomping on no fruit, even though I am glad that Skylanders is encouraging you to eat healthily, because of course eating healthily and having a balanced diet is very important, especially in later life when diseases come about in an elder age, because of you're not taking good care of your body, you know, not exercising enough, not having a healthy balanced diet. So yes, those of you who are teenagers out there, take advantage of the prime of your life, the peak of your physique, and go out and play some sports. Stop watching this, go out and play sports right now. That's a commandment of the Bible. Not really, we're not going to go that far, I just find it kind of ironic, really. Mine and Schmurder's favourite word right there, Demigod Schmurder to be more exact. We love the word irony. But moving on to why I brought up said irony about the Bible specifically, because, you know, despite the fact that it's a religious book and that within its testaments there is do not steal, so you'd think nobody would steal a Bible, because, you know, Christians who are the ones who read it, not that you have to be a Christian to read it, so don't get that idea wrong, but case in point, you know, despite the fact that it's a book about being righteous and honourable and not stealing, it's still the most shoplifted book in the entire world. Get that? A book about not shoplifting is the most shoplifted book. Now that is irony, it's very fire. So you look up the dictionary definition of irony and you're going to be getting the irony behind the Bible as a definition, my friends. Anyway, let's be defeating some guys and hopefully getting hit much less, because being hit much less is something we seem to be feeling at. So now we have some shield dudes, we're going to wait for them to drop it and then finish them off with our whips or quick like, as you can see right there. They stood no chance against us. And our evilized bat is defeating the enemy from top ledge right there. I almost feel sorry for him, but as always, almost doesn't count now, does it? Anyway, it's time to hit that guy into the pit. This is one of my favourite arenas, just because with knockback Skylanders you can knock these enemies back into the pit, and it's so fun to one-shot them like that, although we dashed right into the fire right there. So in the future, let's try to avoid said situation, despite the fact that as previously established, past Ignite who recorded this live cannot hear this future Ignite that's speaking to you now. Anyway, we have ourselves a nice little magnifying glass to, of course, magnify our enemies with and bring down lasers upon them, like that scene from Toy Story where Sid is, you know, burning Woody's hand using the magnifying glass. And not cool, Mr. Invincible Guy. How dare you be invincible? How dare you have the audacity to hit me with your invincibility cycles? I mean, like, with the enemies that have shields, sure, they're heavy, but at the very least, whilst they're invincible, they can't hit you. The whole idea about them is that as soon as they try to hit you, they leave themselves vulnerable. That's a far better way to, you know, bring about an enemy, to execute an enemy. In terms of execution of their design, they are also literally executed when I defeat them, mind you. Oh boy, we got shotgunners. I hate the Archean shotgunners, so much so in fact that I just let one hit me to emphasize this, you know, as if I accidentally got hit by it. No, that hit was purposeful. I just wanted to emphasize the fact that I hate those Archean shotgunning bitches. Me and Demigod love putting the word bitches at the end of enemies right here, so they can be the Archean shotgun bitches. Beneath of Soul Link memes, man, that series has been incredible, and it's a shame to see that go, really, because, you know, what I'm going to be doing with the future of Soul Links is going to be part of the update there, which we're going to be looking at once we're done with these arenas. But for now, we have plenty of burgers surrounding us, which is quite glorious, and we move on to stage numero dos. At least I hope that's 2 in some foreign language. Pretty sure it is. I mean, I know there's uno, which is 1 in French. I'm kidding, I know it's Spanish, duh. You know, if I'm going to make foreign language jokes, I'm going to make funny foreign language jokes. Ha ha, very funny. Demigod has permanently ruined me. And this isn't even a collaboration, so yeah, let's be absolutely annihilating everything on screen right now. These chompies, ho, they don't stand a chance. We're going to be, you know, launching more of these guys towards the centre of the pit right here and heading into a bonus stage where we can hopefully earn ourselves even more burgers. Get in there, boys. That's what we like to see, boys. Anyway, we got ourselves some suns going on right here. Oh boy, and a laser coming right to the face. Not the face, anything but the face. Okay, so we're launching into these guys. We be whipping into those guys. Yeah, we could make a whole tune from Smolder Dash alone. Or her abilities alone, we could go as far to say. Anyway, let's be bringing out that sun right there. Ooh, shotgunners again. These are shotgunners. The other guys are double barrel guys. You know, if I'm going to say their names, or at least make fun of their abilities, I've got to do it correctly. And by make fun of their abilities, I mean call them names. So we have the Archean shotgun bitches and the Archean double barrel bitches, both as bad as the other. Anyway, speaking of Archean shotgun bitches, we now have them falling down the middle of the pit. This is made for kids. That's what this content is. And now I seem to find myself kicking my package for left from my foot. That is the package that I'm going to be sending off the 400 subscriber giveaway in. So yes, definitely stay tuned for Halloween for that. You know, hopefully it'll be going live on Halloween night. We'll see. It's just that, you know, rather than giving out free candy, I'm going to be giving out free Skylanders. You really don't get much better than that for Halloween now, do you? And I have a lot of really cool characters to be given out. I have some senseis, I have Shortcut, which I know not many people have. I also have a few chat themed cores like Flipwreck to boot, so yeah, I'm giving you plenty of reasons to look out for that. I even have a Goldilocks, aka Legendary Bushwhacker. I cannot believe I just made a Skylander Boy and Girl reference. What has this channel become? Anyway, it seems as though we picked ourselves a speed power up to emphasize that theme speed, so now Small Dash is going like quadruple speed because she has the speed up from the edit, the speed up from her power up, her natural speed from her natural abilities. You truly don't get much better than this. This is the peak of my YouTube career. As is every other video I make. You know, every video I make is just a new peak for me. How do I do it? I don't know. By being humble, I suppose. Anyway, let's be defeating these Archean shotgun bitches with our knockback. You know, our simple sun into whip combo by knocking them back. Man, this post commentary is great. I think only about 2% of it has been focused upon the actual gameplay you see before you. Once again, I'm laughing at my own terrible jokes. So, we're going to be sucking in all of those enemies up close. That's not great for the laser dude who managed to hit me in the process. Anyway, that other laser dude didn't even get the opportunity to lift himself off the air because we knocked him back in a constant cycle. We defeated those chompies by having our whip travel 360 degrees, and then during Eclipse mode we smashed down our blackened sun to defeat the Gear Golem and remaining chompies. Okay, so now we have Evilized Whiskers performing whirlwind abilities on us. Swap Force really loved Whirlwind for some reason. Like, seriously, Whiskers' evil abilities are very similar to that of Whirlwind. You know, you have the purple archers firing at you, similar to Whirlwind's rainbows. Maybe I should have played as Whirlwind instead. No, because then 2 hours spent recording this would not have been as fun nor as fast paced. But moving on, back to Whirlwind, because her statue is the Illuminator in the Winter's Keep, and she also got a repost in this game, and the story scroll from Winter's Keep revolves entirely around Whirlwind. So for some reason, Swap Force just is in love with Whirlwind. Some developer just thought, you know, the perfect Skylander to put in this game left, right and centre, Whirlwind, that's who. I mean, granted, I have no problems with that whatsoever because I actually quite like Whirlwind. She's not amongst my favourites. She got number 14 on my SSA every character ranked, which is much higher than what she was on my overall ranking, I believe, because my opinions on Skylanders are changing over time. And with Whirlwind, my main love for her comes from her design. You know, she's the blend of a unicorn and a dragon, which is why she was perfect for the Illuminator. You know, her unicorn horn and acting has that illumination device. And of course, you know, if the Illuminator does more than give the elves light, it gives them symbolic light, it gives them hope. So, you know, this game has some really great messages behind it, you know, Whirlwind's level in particular for theming of hope and finding it, you know, even without physical devices, you know, those elves, they don't need the Illuminator to win, to fight back, you know, they just, it's a facade, it's a, you know, misinterpretation that they think they need it when they really don't. I'm looking far too into this, aren't I? But you know, this is just the kind of like feelings of analysis that Evilized Whiskers brings out me, I suppose. Anyway, we move on to the final of these desert arenas right here with the snake, which there's actually a bonus mission map that has a similar based objective behind it. You know, you got to utilize music to make the snake sleepy and vulnerable to all of your attacks coming up. Anyway, the pit is boarded up as it was in the previous unit, which is unfortunate because now we can't knock enemies into it. Big sad. Anyway, back to the Solent memes, I suppose. Here we go with attacking the snake, and then of course raining down in our Eclipse mode for suns from above. Yeah, Smolder Dash is all about that sun life. To be frank, could you blame her? I mean, suns are pretty hot and pretty powerful, and heat is another theme for Fire Element. Get that? Heat, fire, 2 and 2 go together. Who saw that one come in? Yes, fire is basically the best element in Skylanders. It's basically fact to this point, and if you disagree, you're wrong. That's because that's how opinions work. Oh, and there is another phrase I have seemed to need to use every single video. Definitely got to put that on a shirt at some point. Regardless, I suppose I should also put on a shirt at some point because I seem to say that a lot as well, but that's just my natural commentary for you, and I rather enjoy my natural commentary. It's more fun to just speak from the heart rather than speak from a Word document in front of me. I actually had some sort of, you know, body language to emphasize that right there, but unfortunately you guys couldn't see any of it. Anyways, we now have Fire Gear Golem actually helping us out by firing upon the Snake Fiend. I don't know why I call him a fiend, I just did, so deal with it all the same. You know, if I could have been asked in the edit, I would have put the dictionary definition of fiend up right now, but I think this edit has been put into enough effort as it is already, so you can forget about that happening to us, to be saying the least. Oh, and earlier I was alluding to computers and fans. Well, in come the computer fans. Yep, you can hear them slightly in the background as my computer gets really excited for this 400 subscriber special right now. That's, you know, 20 subscribers late apparently. Yeah, we've been growing decently, and I am highly satisfied by that. I'm really proud of the progress, and hopefully we can hit 500 by the end of the year. That is the goal, and speaking of goals, we've reached the goal of the theme for Desert Arena, so now we have the ice ones to be dealing with real crackerjack speeds. This is quite some pace right here. Just look at Smolder Dash And now that these enemies, she whips her whip back and forth, she whips her whip back and forth. I couldn't help myself, to say the least, despite my terrible singing skill. So I really hate these invulnerable enemies and invulnerable Cyclops, the fact that we have to wait patiently. Like, patience, this is a Skylanders game. I want to go fast and defeat enemies quickly, I don't want to have to wait. But then again, you know, the enemies have to wait for me whilst I put them on a knockback cycle, which they never actually get out of, so I suppose they're not really waiting for anything besides their deaths. This got dark very, very quickly. Regardless, my post commentary is actually 4 seconds behind the edit right here, so I've got to remember to sync that up, which is gonna be fun. So we have some Cyclops' joust now. Does really reminds me of Fright Rider's moveset, how he jousts, and Chop Chop too, you know, that animation is very similar to that of Chop Chop's with his primary based combination, creating for his joust move. So yeah, I do like the fact that certain enemies have an texturality behind them, so they can you know, feel like actual Skylanders, especially since in the case of Boomer, you know, they took an enemy and turned him into a Skylander. Boomer being a troll who's a rather common enemy in Spyro's Adventure, and instead of working for Chaos, Boomer is blowing up the forces of evil and, you know, fighting for the good. So really interesting way to take his character and really subverts your expectations, playing as a character that you normally defeat through battle. But yeah, we've been all over the place and talking about different Skylanders, talking about, you know, just different things in general, and that's what 400 subscribers specials are all about, I suppose. You know, me express my character in some form or another, and you guys bear witness, in a premiere of all things, to some excellent editing skills, because I've got to admit the pacing here is phenomenal. And speaking of pacing, we defeated that arena. I have no idea what it has to do with pacing, it just does, so let's go with it, I suppose. Anyway, we have more drafts of these, which we are going to be remaining out of the way off. I have some really sick dodges with Small Dash in the second half of these videos right here, because of course there's 4, so the final 2 class themselves as the second half. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of those despite the sheer speed going on right now, because of course with speed like this it kind of skips over certain frames, so you can still somewhat see what's going on, but because it's so fast for naked eye, I can't really pick it up as well as it would otherwise. Oh, speaking of dodge, I jumped right over at these right now. Yeah. Thank heavens Swap Force had jumping, because that made for combat have that little extra level of depth, because you could of course jump over attacks to avoid them, unlike you could in the previous 2 games. So jumping did more for this franchise than just, you know, provide the platform, and it added an extra level of depth to the combat, as you had more opportunity to dodge your enemies with. You know, in Spyro's Adventure, the best form of dodging you had was Drobot, because with Drobot you wouldn't even need to dodge whatsoever, you'd just defeat your enemies before they'd get anywhere near you. That's the Drobot difficulty for you. But hey, if you're playing with a 2-year-old who can't play video games to save their lives, then you give them Drobot and you'll have a much better time. That's basically what Drobot was invented for, and I don't think any of us have any problems with that whatsoever, because Drobot is such a huge fan favourite. Speaking of fan favourite, Small Dash is considered a pretty big fan favourite. I've had a lot of comments displaying a lot of love for Small Dash. I myself love her. Steve Smith, she's his favourite Skylander, which I couldn't blame him, to be honest. She is amazing, as I alluded to at the very beginning of this here 400 subscriber special. And so, as I make Small Dash alongside Drobot a fan favourite. So yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a fan favourite video this, and I'm hoping it's going down well. You know, unfortunately, past future Ignite, like future premiere Ignite, we'll be able to know how the premiere's going and whether you guys are enjoying it or whatnot. But just regular future Ignite, who's post commentating this right now after he's provided the edit and the speed for this here video. Well, he's created the edit that you see before you with the gameplay visuals, and then he's post-commentated said visuals is what he's trying to say, and he's even speaking of himself in the third person. He's just that skilled with his post-commentary, but regardless, that version of Ignite, simply future post-commentary Ignite, has no idea how the premiere is going, only future premiere Ignite knows that. So yeah, future premiere Ignite, hope it's going well, buddy. hope you're having a good time, and I hope the fans are really enjoying this and finding a favouriteist in this video, as well as the favourite Skylanders characters that I am speaking of. Anyway, we now have some crazy chickens to avoid, and avoid them we did. Okay, so there goes the food thief rather quick like. And can you believe we only have 10 minutes of these arenas already, because the speed is so insane. We're over double the speed at this point, and we now have more lasers to be avoided, and luckily we have our dash to move right out of the way at the last split second. Once again, luckily these are not Mario Maker physics, because if they were, you know, I would have been hit from being on the complete opposite side of the ship right now. You know, maybe there's a splinter from the ship, that would have given me damage in Mario Maker 2. I have where we have more crazy robot chickens to avoid. Get out of my way, you crazy chickens. I don't know why I call them robot chickens, but you know, there's only one thing better than crazy bomb chickens, and that's crazy robot bomb chickens. It's like Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, doesn't it? There is only one thing better than fighting dinosaurs with bow and arrows, and that's fighting robot dinosaurs with bow and arrows. And speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, I definitely am planning to do more content based around that game soon. Long-term fans of the channel would know that when I first got my PS4, almost 2 years ago at this point, because I got my PS4 in Halloween of 2018. So yes, this literally will be will be 2 years old very soon. Regardless, when I first got that, the first game I actually bought with PS4 was Horizon Zero Dawn, and I live streamed that series, which not many people came to, because at the time I had around 150 subs. So I really want to return to that game and, you know, kind of like modernize my walkthroughs of it, just because it's such a fun game. It's a game I'm actually good at, so I can actually stream a video game that I don't suck for once, because I'm notoriously bad at Crash Bandicoot. Although I'm not going to be streaming for a while, and you guys will see why for the update. I keep alluding to that, the updates for the end of the arenas. And speaking of the arenas, we're now on one hit challenge, so we know for a fact that we're not going to get hit in this entire arena, which made it a lot more easier for me on the edit, because I didn't actually need to proof watch any of this, because I knew I didn't get hit due to it being one hit challenge. And luckily for us, those icicles don't class as a hit, because despite the fact that they do hit you, they don't deal damage, and neither do they decrease the multiplier either, so neither of the factors for speeding up the video are accomplished with that. And as you can tell, I'm doing a great job, though. Those ice chompies, as they hoard around you, are quite terrifying, because one hit from them and you're done for. But yeah, I definitely am planning to do things with Horizon Zero Dawn in the future. I really look forward to it. I have a review in the plans, and it's probably not going to be a live stream. I might do a let's play if I have enough demand for it, just because it's so much fun, and I want to show you guys what Ignite being good at a video game looks like for once. Well, a video game that isn't Skylanders, because as you can tell, I am absolutely annihilating these guys right now, and we bring ourselves to the last set of arenas, nearing the 300% marker right now, which is insane. But we're just going to keep on launching our suns through these guys, launching upwards and launching further suns. But yeah, by continuing this cycle of launching out a sun and then whipping it, constantly knocking back enemies. And this first arena is all about defeating golems before they hit vortexes, and luckily with that golem right there, that is exactly what I did. My precious ring. My apologies, we have golems going left, right, center right here, so I just had to attempt a golem impression, and it was terrible. But being an absolute nerd such as myself is kind of surprising. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings very much. Like, I have watched the entire trilogy, but only once, and only when I was very young, so I can not really remember it all that well. So I really need to return to the Lord of the Rings, because they're fantasy movies. I love fantasy, and I'm a bit of a nerd, you know. These movies, they were made for me. Anyway, luckily for us, the golem was defeated within the vortex before the timer was up, because we only get 3 strikes, and we're out. It's like baseball all over again. And you know, I reckon Dash would be good with baseball. She's got clearly really fast, really good reflexes, and you know, with her whip, you know, swapping that out for a bat won't be too comfortable for her, I'm sure. And also, do you see the epic dodge? I literally just moved to the left from that laser right there. You know, that is what we call some epic dodge skill right there. Some humble epic dodge skill. Yeah, every single time I praise myself, I just have to point out how humble I am. Anyway, I'm also incredibly humble at being humble. We now have some enemies which I just launched my sons down upon, knocked them back, and then, you know, engaged them with my whip-based abilities to defeat them up close and personal. I stared them down before I defeated them. Now I'm launching off sons in all directions once again and constantly knocking back enemies in a cycle that they cannot get out of, including parts where I suck them in and then hold the primary attack button to jump upwards and slam for sundown. So there's just a constant cycle of them being trapped within my wrath, which is actually the name of a Ben 10 alien. Interestingly enough, I remember that because Ben 10 was a huge part of my childhood. A ton of cartoons were. I actually grew up on cartoons rather than live action sitcoms and all that. You know, I always would prefer putting on things like Ben 10, Battle Force 5, Generator Rex, man. Those are some classics that I'm naming right there. And if you noticed, what they all have one thing in common, and that is action and creativity. I am quite a creative person, and the foundations of that creativity came from the games I played, such as Mario Kart, Skylanders, most obviously, because Skylanders, you know, it downright encourages imagination, especially when you're looking at the most recent iteration of the franchise, Imaginators, where, you know, you literally have these creations called Imaginators, which you yourself build up. So for downright promotion of creativity, you know, they don't just enable it, they promote it. It's incredible. And, you know, those cartoons being very creative also help with that creativity. You know, Ben 10 had a freaking Omnitrix watch that allows you to take one form of several different aliens. Or, you know, Generator X, I can't even remember the story of that, but I remember it being creative, in-depth, and episodic well, not episodic, but the opposite of episodic. Also, I found myself in a bit of a pickle right now. Small Dash was literally suspended in midair and a bit stuck, so she had to teleport back out again. Thanks for that sort of force glitching out as per normal, but luckily this is enchanting, because if it was, I guarantee our glitch counter would be near the 10,000 by now. As they say in Dragon Ball, it's over 9,000! Anyways, enough of my terrible shouting skill. This is what I get for having roommates and having to respect said roommates at uni. Yeah, so Battle Force 5 was, in my opinion, the most creative of the bunch, because you had vehicles and storm shocks which were these blue tornadoes. These vehicles would drive into the blue tornado, find themselves inside a battle zone, which was like an alien domain, and then they'd have to fight these aliens for a battle key found within the battle zone, and then using that battle key they could lock up portals so that then the aliens couldn't access the portal to Earth to conquer it. So yeah, just a really creative idea, you know, the idea of battle zones, battle keys, evil robots, and, you know, sentient animals, so to say. Because you had Vandals for Sark, and then later in the show you had Red Sentience as well, which added further lore to the series. And, you know, it further characterized the characters and gave them depth and development. Most importantly, but like the main character went through such an arc in that show, and you don't really expect it. You know, it's called Hot Wheels Battle Force 5, and they have creativity and character development to boot. It was incredible. I'm glad I grew up with shows like that. And speaking of growing up, actually, the visuals in front of you have nothing to do with growing up. I just had to, you know, find some sort of way to transition into the Sheep Mage Rage right here. So we have ourselves a food feast to defeat in a quick and orderly, just quick really, fashion. Speaking of fashion, since Smaller Dash is clearly right now, she's got what looks like a Puma hat on. Anyway, we've got enemies all around us, but that's no problem for us whatsoever, because we're just going to constantly, you know, keep jumping upwards, bringing down the sun, and then launching suns in all directions like we did several times right now. And, you know, because enemies are being sucked in by our ecliptic sun, they're all drawn in, so then we can easily charge up that ability, launch ourselves upwards, and defeat all the enemies whilst they are grouped together within our vicinity. That is just what's so broken about it. I love her. So next up I have some golems and a nice little shipwreck wheel to increase our gold count with. I say increase despite the fact that the Smaller Dash is already on maximum gold right now, but man, that jewellery really reminded me of Flipwreck right there. The fact that that weaponry looks similar to his wrecked up shield. So yeah, Flipwreck definitely an interesting character, and he was one of the few free-to-play characters that actually got named by the fans. We had Flipwreck, High Five, which honestly is my favourite name of the bunch. You know, he's got a little 5 helmet, so High Five, really awesome name for him. That Spin was kind of an inspired, you know, about Spins. Skylanders Boy and Girl got really close with their name nomination because they got Twirlybat. So yeah, Twirlybat, Zapfly, and whatever they called the dolphin character. Flipwreck. Was he a dolphin or was he a whale? I'm pretty sure he was a whale. I'm getting this completely confused. Then again, I'm pretty sure he's meant to be like a blend of the two, because he has like a blowhorn, which whales have even, but then he's also got the fin of a dolphin and kind of like the face and the mouth of a dolphin too. So maybe it's just one of those crazy hybrid characters that's, you know, a combination of 2 different species. I'll try to think of further examples off the top of my head, but I can't really think of many, to be frank. Okay, so now we have giant chompies to deal with, but no giant chompy is too much of a force for Smolder Dash. If anything, it's the opposite way around, where the chompies are too frightful of Smolder Dash. Like, seriously, if enemies could rage quit in video games, if AI could just rage quit and just give up, then I'm pretty sure that they would whenever they saw Smolder Dash coming in. You know, like the Soul Link with enemies that just, well, the villains even in the boss fights that basically just rage quit and don't play the video game when they see Crypt King coming because he's such a beast. And man, it's so hard because we have further episodes coming out after this is premiered, and it's so hard not to spoil that series because it was incredible. But let's continue to be bringing down our sons. Oh yeah, Soul Link finale on Friday, by the way, a little bit of a shameless plug right there. Enough of my not so evil laughs. We are going to be defeating the last of these chompies, and you guys just heard some audio I accidentally left in whilst I'm watching back this edit right now. My bad. But yeah, that was an example of the audio sounding terrible with the speed up effect in it. And a fine example, it was its stats. So, chompies, will you die already so we can conclude this arena area and move on to the update? Oh, you can. How kind of you. You've seen quite the unique watermark at the bottom right of the screen this entire time, and that's because this was some channel art created by Bombo3 to celebrate my hitting of 400 subscribers. Unfortunately, however, Bombo3 has stopped uploading content, but that didn't stop me from utilising this very special artwork of his as my watermark for this 400 subscribers special. So naturally I'm honoured that I could honour him because he made some great content, so it's highly unfortunate when he decided to leave all of that behind him. But to further honour him, this has actually been my channel icon for a while now. But after this premiere, my channel icon will revert back to normal until Christmas time, when I will have my Ho Ho Merry Smashmas icon for, of course, 12 days of Smashmas this year. That's right, as an annual series that is going to be returning in 2020. And as for the theme of this year's Smashmas, well, you'll find out during Smashmas. It's as simple as that. I would click my fingers if I could actually click, but I can't. So it's time to move on with the rest of the update. But first things first, we're going to take a quick look back at my performance in the gameplay, which finished off with 126 hits and 358% speed. As you can tell from these counters, which are no longer needed, so get them out of here, go, get out of here. But yeah, what's quite hilarious about this is that I made quite the editing error and accidentally wound up speeding the video up by 6% that wasn't entirely necessary. Therefore, the true speed of the video would have been 352% without those mistakes having been made. But hey, I'm only human, so mistakes are practically inevitable, as fellows would put it. But now it's time for me to finally deliver upon the update that I've been alluding to this entire premiere up until this point, with none other than Light Course Smolder Dash on the frame, because to be frank, she got through an entire 16 arenas of Skylanders Spot Force with only an 8-hit average per challenge, so naturally I feel like she's earned her spot on the frame right here. That, and she's also awesome, so I can't see why anyone would be concerned with anything as awesome as this inside of the frame, mind you. But as for the main update itself, the main thing to concern itself with is the fact that after the uploading of the current version lock episode this Monday, every single day this week is going to be dedicated to a Skylanders hunting video, since I've had the footage for the next 7 episodes recorded for weeks now, but it's just taken me all this time to finally get through and edit all of them. But now that they're all ready, they will be going live each day this week, which unfortunately means no top 10 first day for this week, but don't you worry, I will be making up for that, as you'll see. And after this week of hunting videos has came to an end, Last of Us and How to Train Dragon content will be starting back up here on my channel, so I can get those series finished by the New Year's. And then on top of that, the top 10 first days and the core version lock will also be finished by the new year, allowing 2021 to be the start of my shift in focus on this channel. So don't get me wrong, there will always be Skylanders and Transformers content. However, in 2021 I want to shift to a more theatrical based direction. I want to talk about film a lot more, so that means a lot more film rankings, a lot more film reviews, and a lot more game reviews as well. You know, so basically I'm going to be taking gaming and film as a media and truly pushing that forward, but still with that focus on Skylanders. I'll still have the Know Your Skylanders and Skylander review series. I'll start up a few new series in 2021, which I have and then stored in the backlog of my brain, so losing top 10s won't be too much of a big deal, with those new series flooding in constantly. And then on top of that, we'll also have the really fancy schmancy creative editorial ideas, such as this one we've seen throughout the entirety of the premiere. Hey chat, how you doing? Yeah, a little bit of a fourth wall break for you guys right now, but that's basically the update that I wanted to share with you guys. The fact that 2021 is going to have a big shift on my channel as I start to do more and more regarding film, because that's where my true passions lie. Well, outside of Skylanders, of course. Skylanders will always be my favourite media franchise, let alone my favourite gaming franchise. However, I still have a lot of passion for film, and there's lots of things about film that I really wanted to start talking to you guys about. But either way, I appreciate the support. No matter what direction I'll take, I'm sure you guys will be there throughout the entirety of the journey. And the current goal is to try and hit 500 subscribers come the end of the year. So if we can hit that, it would be incredible. But yes, when it comes to my upcoming videos outside of the hunting videos and the How to Train a Dragon and Last of Us videos, I do have a ranking list for all Harry Potter movies coming up, as well as an updating upon my Pixar ranking once Soul is finally released. Even if that does wind up getting pushed back to 2021, it's still a video I have planned, so you guys can be looking out for that. And then I also have a few Mario Kart videos as well. One other thing of note before we end up the video is that I currently do have a 400 subscriber giveaway live on the channel, so you can win for 80 Skylanders before you if you leave a comment in order to enter the giveaway. However, the chase variants aren't included since they're just there to make the shot look all the more glorious. But all other 80 Skylanders are up for grabs, so definitely be sure to leave that comment for your chance to win this giveaway. And if you want to leave a comment but not enter the giveaway, then just be sure to make that thoroughly clear through the wording of your comments. And the premiere chat is not going to count as a comment entering you into this video. You have to comment in the appropriate comment section below. But I think I've been clear enough on that. So good luck with the competition, anyone who plans on entering. And I sure hope you guys have appreciated this 400 subscriber special. This giveaway is just here to emphasize the fact that I truly appreciate every last one of you, and this is my way of giving back to my incredible fan base. But at that, I will see you in the next one, and until that moment arises, peace.